Alright guys, in case you haven't noticed, we have successfully extracted from Providence, and we are now moved back to Uniform-Quebec. While we moved back, I should say, over the course of the last weekend, the hostile entities of Skill Yourself and Volta moved into the solar system of YTAC F in Amencia. On top of their movement into Amencia, we have intel that Fraternity will be staging into that system as well, or into their new Keepstar in EIH. Somebody fix their echo. As well, obviously, we have those entities moving into direct range of our allies in Amencia. We know for a fact they will be supported by our standard enemies of Triumvirate, Red Menace, Lumpy, the entirety of the East, effectively. We know that they have contacted Pandemic Legion and Northern Coalition DOT for support. Obviously, they're not going to bring supers down to assist them, but support nonetheless. As such, we have to treat this threat as the threat it is, which is a serious threat to our sovereignty in Amencia, and by extension, the rest of Legacy-held space. The forces which they have are significant, and they have just effectively come off a campaign in which they used those forces to kill the Drone Region Federation. As such, we felt the need to deploy a Keepstar in Delta Yankee TAC in Amencia to shore up our defensive capability in that area. We deployed it yesterday, and it comes out in 45 minutes. We did this for 3 reasons. One, we did it to make a very clear statement of our intentions regarding this region and how we plan to defend. We did so to give ourselves the ability to actually defend it without putting ourselves at risk every time we want to go into Amencia by using a Cortazar. And most importantly, we did it because we plan to restage the majority of the coalition to that Keepstar as soon as this op ends. The control of Amencia that DYTAC will offer us is significant, and it is extremely relevant. Without those ranges, we're looking at another midpoint to make any progress against Skill Yourself, and we will not be in a position to support our allies in the area. We don't really have a choice in this. If we do not move here, Skill Yourself, Hard Knocks, Volta, Tri, Lumpy, Fraternity, etc. will slowly, day by day, kill. They will kill Uli, they will kill Rosita, and they will kill Evictus. They will take the Tickle Sov, they will take the Warp Sov. They will carve Amencia out from us. And at that point, we have merely moved the borders from Amencia to Impasse and Catch. And that's not something we're interested in. So we are going to hard deploy to Amencia, and we're going to put a line in the sand, in fact. We have no intentions of making this a nice war for them. They just came off a war where XIX fed them every single day.
Hold on, test mumble just crashed. Give it a second.
So did Brave.
Oh, Brave's fine. Give it a second.
Oh, test mumble crashed. Just bear with us, boys.
Gee.
I have some local guys for test mumble.
Wartime bandwidth bonds required. Could we try this in Discord? No. For the record, Brave has officially won the Mumble Effectiveness Awards.
I don't know. Ours has twice as many people on. We were up to 994 there for a minute.
All right, I think Test Mumble's back.
They got a lot of Titans. It's gonna be interesting. Yada yada yada.
Okay, I can't remember what I was talking about. So I'll just go back to the points that we need to hit here.
DRF feeding them every day.
Yeah, so
Oh,
the
yeah, that was
DRF.
good.
Yeah, the DRF. Can we fix the fucking channel so we don't hear echoes here?
Charlie.
Can someone mute Charlie, please?
He's muted.
We got them. Continue.
Okay, so the DRF basically fed them a super cap kill a day for 6 months. And there is no way to describe how effective that is at making the game fun for someone. And I hate to be the man to prescribe this remedy, but the game will not be fun for this coalition fighting Legacy. We will not feed them. We will not encourage them to come. We will deliver them nothing but fucking death and boredom and blue balls. And if they want to stay here, they can fucking enjoy that dessert over and over again. I'm not going to say we're going to be perfect and that we're never going to feed, because I'm sure some of your FCs will find a way to make it happen. But our overriding principle that we will have while they're here is to fucking ruin their day, kill their shit, and make living next to us uncomfortable. With that being said, just focus on being where you need to be, having the ships you need to have, and showing up to fleets. We need Titans, supers, carriers, facts, dreadnoughts, battleships, carriers, dictors, carriers, and recons, and more carriers. Oh, and did I mention Titans? We need it all. This war is going to be, unfortunately, extremely interesting, I guess you could say. Our enemy is significantly more capable than any enemy we faced in the last probably ever. They're significantly better than PL, and while they don't have necessarily the numbers or assets that PL had, they definitely have a much more capable group of FCs, and as such, especially with the supers they have on hand, there's definitely going to be some tricky situations that we're going to have to find a way to win through. So it's war. They're going to say that, we outnumber them 10-1, and you know what? We're definitely going to outnumber them in subs, hopefully every freaking time. But we don't outnumber them in caps by that much. We don't outnumber them by supers by that much or at all. And those things matter just as much as us outnumbering them in subs. So we need to be on the ball, and we need to be ready to fight this. We dropped this Keep Star to send a very clear message of what it's going to be like coming to Amencia. And now it's going to be up to you and me and everybody else in this coalition to back that up. So that's what's going on right now. I'm going to pass Brogat here. He's going to talk some other stuff.
So yeah, guys, we've been preparing for a large super battle pretty much ever since we moved down here. We knew it would come eventually. It looks like in the foreseeable future we're going to get to that point. So, getting all the capitals in place, like Billy said, is super critical. Making sure that our fleet comps are tight is super critical. Legacy alliances, your alliance leaders and FCs have just been given the list of fleet comps that we're going to be running out of DY. It's super important that we get that stuff imported and fielded quickly. We need to have tight fleet concepts, because especially for our subcap fleets, in large capital fights, subcaps just take losses just because Titans track so well, and super fighters and fighter bombers are just extremely effective against subcapitals, and you have area of effect doomsdays and projections and all that stuff. So having large fleets with small numbers of different types of ships and lots of each one of those types is very critical. It's why we've been compressing our fleet concepts more and more over the super important past 6 months. Test, you're going to be getting a post later today with some changes to our subcap fleet concepts. Minor changes, mostly the smaller ships are getting redone a little bit. And then obviously we're finishing up the Munin fleet concept. We're going to be importing that stuff over the next 2 or 3 days, and by the time we're set up in DY, all of the fleet comp changes will be solidified, and we expect everyone to be feeling them with the proper fits like they're supposed to, so that we can have maximize the effectiveness of our subcat fleets, which is our main advantage in this war. Just so be on the lookout for that. During the XIX move up, the forces aligned against us, which wasn't all of them at the time, fielded about 80 Titans, and that was not necessarily a max form up for all of them. It's very likely we'll be up against 100 Titans. I think, based on everything I've seen us do during the Providence deployment and over the last couple of months, I think we got a pretty good shot at it. I think it's going to be quite an interesting battle when it finally does happen. It's just who's more prepared. All these battles come down to who's more prepared. If you saw the XIX whelp, it's a very clear picture of what can happen when you're not prepared at all. But I think if we get everything in position, do what we've been talking about doing for months and months, run our doctrine the way we've been talking about it for over a year now, I think we'll come out on top. I think we got the numbers for it. So I think we're going to break out in the fleets now. Super fleets up, capital fleets up, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check on that. Subcat fleets are going up shortly.
Yeah, gentlemen. So to give you kind of a quick rundown of probably what's going to happen in the next hour, we have over 1,000 people in UQ. Over 1,300. Okay. So our enemies attempted to bat phone the entirety of the universe. We bat phoned the goons first, which seems to be the camel, or the straw that broke the camel's back. So most of the hostiles have canceled their form-ups at this point, is our understanding. So we are going to still push hard into our system, ensure that there's no issues. And that's just what we're going to do. We're going to parade in. We're going to make sure that this goes down without a hitch. And then we are going to start moving in. There's a super fleet up. There's a long-range T2 Dread fleet up. There is a T1 Dreadnought fleet up. For short-range dreads. There is a carrier fleet up. There is Nightmare fleet up. You should be able to, yeah.
Sorry, we're just saying you can continue. We muted him.
Okay. Once again, Titan Super Fax fleet is up. Carrier fleet is up. T2 long-range dread fleet is up. Super short-range dread fleet is up. Is it carrier fleet? Yeah. Nightmare fleet is up. I believe there's a Maelstrom fleet up for Legacy, and maybe a Legacy secondary Maelstrom fleet will be needed as well here. And we'll be bridging over shortly. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. We should be hopefully done with this within 1 hour.
Really quick, guys, I do want to say thank you so much for my support for my CSM candidacy. Sorry that didn't work out, but I do appreciate all you guys voting for me. Thank you.
Yeah, the comms channels will be sorted in a second. We've got, we'll just put them in the relative MOTDs for the fleets.
I think we're going to need a separate supercarrier fleet.